So the first step is always to finish the pocket, because you have to put the pocket on the body before you can finish sewing the body. So always remember, when you're sewing, the pretty side, the right side of the fabric, has to be facing the other right side. So it's sometimes hard on batiks to tell, but these are the two right sides, so I'm going to put them together, and then I'm going to sew, starting up here at the top, all the way around, across the bottom, over this way, and all the way up to here, leaving the top open. Now, because this is a double pocket, and you're actually never going to see this seam, it's not going to have a lot of pressure on it, then I just have my needle in the middle, and I give a pretty small seam allowance. I still go in reverse at the beginning because I want my stitch to stay. You can pin both pockets together, or you can stop every once in a while and make sure that your edges are still together. When you get close to a corner, it's best to stick your needle down into the fabric. You do that by turning this wheel here on the right. Lift up your foot, turn the fabric, put your foot back down, again, I put my needle down, I'm going to turn it around, lift up the foot, put your needle down, lift up the foot, turn it around, put the foot back down, make sure my edges are together. Bring my needle down, lift up my foot. Your threads nice and neat to the top right now while you're thinking about it, so you don't end up with a bunch of long threads later. Okay, and now what I have is, this is the pocket, and I'm going to turn it right side out, okay, where all the seams are on the inside. I'm going to use my finger, poke out those corners really well. And now the next part to making your pocket is to iron it. Now, so what you'll see is these edges don't want to stay perfectly flattened and out. They kind of roll in. So you're going to iron it to where your edges are perfectly, your seam is all the way to the edge. If not, if you don't do that, you will end up with like this part. See how it's poofed up? If you didn't iron it, you could end up with it you'll have a lot of extra fabric in here that you don't need, and you might end up with, like, imagine this side being finished like that and that side being finished like that. You cut them the same, but if you don't iron it, you might end up with one side looking different than the other. It doesn't really matter where you start, just as long as you get all the way around. And so I twist my fabric until I can see the seam. I can see the little stitches, the edge of those stitches. And then I lay my iron down on that, and while that's flattening that out, I go along to the next little edge and just kind of roll it with my fingers. Sometimes, depending on the fabric, it doesn't want to do that. It just is too slippery, and I wet the tips of my fingers to be able to get the fabric to roll with my fingers. Okay. So, not to bore you to death, this is what you'll do all the way around it. I'll show it to you when I'm done. I've ironed all my seams perfectly flat, and I've ironed both sides and down.